to thank for the popularity of those snap front shirts and bolo ties.
Yes, in Denver, Mr. Western is still going strong after all these years. Here's Gina London.
At 100 years old, Jack Weil still drives the same route to work, but some things have changed a bit.
First car was a Model T Ford.
And he admits he now comes in at 8 instead of 6.
Not as spry as I was 50 years ago.
When he founded Rockmount Ranchwear Manufacturing Company back in 1946, Mr. Weil was the first to put a snap on what became the quintessential cowboy shirt.
If a guy got his shirt hooked on the horn of a saddle with a button and buttonhole, and it could get dragged, but the snap would break away and lay him loose.
But he didn't stop there. He was the first to mass-produce the bolo tie.
Now, I called it a bola because bola in Portuguese was a lariat. But I didn't write very plain. It came out bolo, and that's the beginning of the bolo ties.
And you didn't think cowboy hats always had those rolled edges, did you?
The reason was so you could ride 3 across in a pickup.
And now 3 generations of Wiles are selling Western wear, the company going as strong as Mr. Western himself.
The secret is that you have to have something that is different from the run-of-the-mill. You have to be somewhat of a ham, to tell you the truth.
Are you?
Well, I'm afraid so.
And what may be the key to running a successful business may also be the trick to living a long and successful life. In Denver, Gina London reporting.
It's also one of the reasons why we stopped wearing those big afros, too.
Why is that?
So
you see, if Brooks and Dunn like our shirts, which is ironic because they're licensed by another company, but they buy our shirts personally. And why? Because they don't find them at the Gap. There's something special. You have to look for them, and I realize that that's a hurdle and a challenge, but now with the web up, rockmount.com up, people can find it. And they have a way to reach us, and it just amazed me how many people we hear from all over that want to know where can they get it, how can they get it, and what's new. But
you're not really interested in mass marketing these things.
The whole thing, we aren't. Is that
I'm
question?
Throwing that out to see if you agree.
My grandfather's old line is that what difference does it make if you're the richest guy in the cemetery? We do like to make a living, however, and we do have a lot of people dependent on us, and we need to stay a going concern. And we've overcome a lot of big challenges with NAFTA and the fact that we're really the last domestic major manufacturer of Western apparel. We've gone through quite a lot of hard tests in the last few years, and we've survived it, and we've seen some increase in sales. What's saving us now is that we're a diversified company. In many respects, we sell in a diversified marketplace. We're no longer dependent on the U.S. economy. We have a well-established brand name in Europe and Asia, and so we're spread out enough that if something goes down in Japan, we're not dead here, and if the Northwest has a problem because lumber prices go down, we're not dead. So in that respect, that's the biggest difference between then and now. Sure, we'd like to see our brand expand, but there's a point at which you kill it. See, in 1980, during the urban cowboy craze, which was the first time Western wear went mass production, we killed it. Not me personally, not the company personally. The industry killed it because, for one thing, they went into costume, which is something we've always tried to stay away from. We concentrate on lifestyle and stuff that people can wear comfortably wherever they are, whatever they're doing. You get into too much howdy-doody, and it has a limited lifespan. So that was the first time Western wear went into the big time market-wise, mass-produced, mass-sold, mass market, and it died because it got saturated. And so our challenge has been, sure, we want to sell as many as we can, but we don't want to overdo it. And so we try, and with the technology we have today, we can track sales a lot more closely than was possible in the past. And when we start to see that we've peaked on a style, we know that's it and don't go there again. And so we try, and with the technology we have today, we can track sales a lot more closely than was possible in the past. And when we start to see that we've peaked on a style, we know that's it and don't go there again. And so we try, and with the technology we have today, we can track sales a lot more closely than was possible in the past. And when we start to see that we've peaked on a style, we know that's it and don't go there again. And so we try, and with the technology we have today, we can track sales a lot more closely than was possible in the past. And when we start to see that we've peaked on a style, we know that's it and don't go there again. And so we try, and with the technology we have today, we can track sales a lot more closely than was possible in the past. And when we start to see that we've peaked on a style, we know that's it and don't go there again. And so we try, and with the technology we have today, we can track sales a lot more closely than was possible in the past. And when we start to see that we've peaked on a style, we know that's it and don't go there again. And so we try, and with the tech And the other thing that makes us fortunate, makes another one of our secrets is that being small, we're agile. So these guys that make their stuff in China, which we never fail to point out could be made in a labor camp by children, whatever. You know, the consumer needs to think about the hidden cost of these imports, because even though they're cheap at the store, they're very expensive in terms of human cost, and that's something we feel quite strong about domestic made goods, that we know it's made in the way that the American public would feel right about buying it. And but being small and agile, I was in New York a couple weeks ago. I saw something that gave me a thought about turning some fashion into Western and a twist. And we have a denim shirt that that I already have the samples out. I'm taking orders. It's in our catalog, and this was not even this didn't exist 2 weeks ago. So we can get samples made in a week. We can get production made in 6 weeks, and we can be in the stores in 7 weeks. And that's our secret right now. These guys that are doing the importing, they're 6 months out. We're 6 weeks out, and so we can stay on top of it by being quick.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's touch base and come back, and after you put that up, I know that's cool, and I read that on your website too when you talk about the 6 week turnaround.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that in there?
Yeah.
What,
It
in
talks
the press,
about
or?
in the our story.
our
It
story.
talked about how that's what's amazing is how quickly we can turn
The
things
speed
around.
of
It's 6
commerce
weeks.
has
Yeah.
changed. That's the biggest thing in my grandfather's era, how it's changed.
Tell me again, kind of explain to me again why it's so important that so much of this is made here in the U.S.
Well,
I mean, why you're proud of that, or why that's an important thing to you.
you know, Made in USA is unfortunately, it's an anachronism. You know, it used to be in years past that everything was made in the United States. Well, today I was reading how the Army had a huge uprising from vets who resented very much berets being made in China. Well, give me a break. How can we buy Chinese goods given the way they're treating us regarding the down plane? I mean, this is just a small example of the problems we face in China, and yet we give them all of our business in the apparel trade. You know, if there were some reason, and I certainly hope this never happens, but this country has lost some of its productive might by exporting that to these lesser developed countries. And the fact that we're still producing something in the U.S. actually is what the country was built on, and our economy still depends on you know, the GMP still depends on what we produce.
How
But-
much is made? I mean, what? Because you don't say it's all U.S., right?
Oh,
There's a little
no.
bit. I mean, what do you guys?
What
What is made here in the U.S.?
We have gone kicking and screaming from 100% U.S. made. And why? Because we have to. We're the last one. Everybody else has been importing, and many of them are now totally imported. We fortunately have a niche for people who want rock mount American made. Yes, we also have parts of our line that are imported, and they may be but because we have to be competitive in these other markets. But we're fortunate because there's people out there that want the best, and for them the best rock mount is made in the United States. Levi jeans, the best ones are made in the U.S. Sure, they make them in Belgium, but do you think the Europeans like the Belgian-made ones? No, they like the domestic ones, and it's part of the cachet of the rock mount label that it be made in the U.S. And we hope to continue to be able to do that indefinitely. But I won't be so naive to think that our future depends on it. I mean, if we have to, we'll do what everybody else has done and make it somewhere else. But it's part of our identity at this stage, and we hope to keep that.
So can I say that it's rock mount's probably made in the USA, or can I not say that?
Most of rock mount is made in the U.S.
Okay.
I mean, we have another label that we use for our import goods.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
We use our True West label for our import
Oh,
goods.
okay. I'm happy by the way.
Okay.
He's fine, is he not?
He's gorgeous.
You want to get a book? You want to get a phone book?
He's sitting on a pillow. It's a hemorrhoid pillow.
So try to talk over to me, not right to me. Try to look over at mine. I feel like the Olin Mills photographer. Here's the duck.
CNN will use.
Not much, but we want to have a lot of variety to
This is
choose
the historical
from.
record. This is-
Exactly. Hey, really, it is.
Yeah, as soon as we What is our subject?
Yeah, I'll let you know in just a second.
You mean we don't get to think about
No,
it?
you don't.
This is is it talking to?
Yes, we're gonna be Yeah, we're video, so it's rolling.
Yeah, see, they got sound
you
back
ready?
in the 30s.
All right, gentlemen. What's it like for the three of you to work together? 3 generations, all in the same building.
It's a big building.
Well, we don't know any better.
My mom summed it up the best. She said family businesses are worse at best.
Do y'all get along?
That's why his mother's not here anymore.
Yeah. She is here, just not for you.
How are the kids to work with?
Well, I have to be the peacemaker between them. They both of them respect me. So when they have a difference of opinion, that's where I come in.
I gotta say, what for me is the nicest thing about having picked this as a career is how many people get to go to somebody with 60 years experience and another guy with 40 years experience when they got a question. But the thing is, they always say to me, why are you asking? You're going to do what you please. But see, I want to consider their opinion. That doesn't mean I have to follow it, but at least I get the benefit of their experience.
You think that isn't aggravating? Guess again.
Does he ask your opinion?
Oh, well,
Every day.
He asked me. How much is 40% markup? And when I tell him, he said, "How'd you do it?" Because he's got that computer he's punching, and I tell him my computer's in my head.
But I check him and he's usually right.
And what about you, Jack? What's it like to work with your...
It's been going on for a good while, and it's just one of those things you have to put up with.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? Well, I think we all think we're the boss, and it makes it a little difficult because my training is military, and it's kind of hard not to have a definite chain of command.
We each have our own areas, and that's kind of how we made do with the kind of family environment. Each of us has an area that we're responsible for, and that's kind of how we figured out how to get along.
And we basically like each other. We're very fortunate to have a family business, and we certainly are going to get along. We've done it all these years, and it's not only to our benefit as in business, but we are a family, and our family is pretty close, which makes it pleasant, and that's the way it should be.
Too close?
Too late to change.
Are you glad you did it this way?
Well, I wouldn't know how it would be any other way. I don't know how it would be any other way.
But you see, what's kind of special from me being the new guy on the block is that, and I've been doing this 20 years, and I grew up in it, and I mean, there's pictures of me as a baby modeling, so I mean, it's not like I just started in 1980, but...
Get to your point.
Well, I mean, for me, there's something really special having the history of my family who in many ways popularized Western wear and Western fashion, and for me to come in and have that to build on is pretty special.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you realize what he said?
I didn't. I'm sure I know what he said was fine. I really wasn't listening.
But see, that's good
I
because
guess that's the way families go.
Yep.
You got enough?
Yeah, that's enough. We're fine. You guys are great.
Thank
Listen,
you.
that wasn't very nice. I can't believe you said that.
Oh, okay.
If I agree.
Let's go eat.
What's the next thing you guys are doing? What's the next clothing item? What's the next thing you're working on?
Well, the next thing that we're going to do is get a shirt catalog out, which we have not done in a few years, and we've had so many requests for it that we know it's going to have a big impact on sales. And it's going to go on the web, which is totally brand new. So instead of printing 25,000 of them, which we used to do in the past, we're going to be on the web. And how many people are on the internet?
I don't know, how many people on the internet?
At least 7.
What's the next thing for you today, Mr. Weil?
Me? Well, after I go to the bank, I go home and take a nap.
You know, he drives to work every morning.
We were with him.
You were?
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's
made
cool.
it.
The scary
That's
part is
cool.
that he's going to have to drive to lunch because neither of us have our cars here.
Where's your car?
It wouldn't start this morning.
Boy, those Jaguars, you have to carry a mechanic with you.
See, this is him copying me again. I was in English cars, still am, and he had to get one. The only difference is he doesn't know how to work on it.
This is a German
No, it's not. It's English.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Where did Ford come in?
Ford's American. They bought Jaguar.
Let's go eat lunch.
What's the next 100 years for you?
Well, when I was 95, the city council had me up there and gave me a citation and asked me what they could do for me. I told them to invite me back for my 100th, which happened a few weeks ago. So the same matter came up, and I said, after all, you're mortal. There's a limit to what you can do. But
He's outlasting them. They're term limited.
But in the meantime, your do-gooders are fooling with the street out here, and I want to protect our loading zone as long as I'm here.
I think you ought to ask him to put the street sign back up for a while.
I do too. Where that Patrick Waugh thing is, take
Yeah,
that
who's
down.
he? He's a newcomer.
Yeah, put you
Well,
up
they
there.
took it down to put up for O'Toole Day for St. Patrick's Day.
They put up O'Toole Street.
Oh,
Every
were they
St.
gonna put it back
Patrick's
up?
See, this is the kind of a district this is down here. See?
Looks like you guys have a lot of fun though, all in all.
We're going to put up an American flag that was sent to us.
Oh, I showed it to him.
Yeah.
You ever gonna get married again, Pop?
Me?
Yeah.
Who would have me?
Me.
Well, you know, here's the deal. We're just hoping Anna Nicole Smith doesn't find out
Yeah,
he's single.
exactly. I was gonna say. Oh, I did.
Okay, guys, you going to lunch?
Well,
Do you have time?
Of course they have
Can you
time.
come for half an hour? 45
They've
minutes?
already been invited.
Yeah, but I know. They said they were busy. They had a life.
Well,
Uh,
they're part of my life. That's where they're going to eat lunch with me.
There you
You were all out at
Hey,
Jack's
Steve.
house?
Yeah, we were actually.
Didn't you take some pictures out there?
He took a couple pictures of Amy's legs. That's all he took though. All right, I gotta write a
Should we
stand
put this table back? Grab the table. Or Amy, do you still need to film
Lunch
these?
then?
Better move that phone before you move the table to the...
No, I'm gonna leave the phone back where it is. Dad, grab the other table.
Just get an audio check.
The samples hanging in the showroom are in the same building that Ranch Mount, see there we go, that Rock Mount Ranch, the samples hanging in the showroom are in the same, the samples hanging in the showroom are in the same building that Rock Mount Ranchwear has used since it began in 1946, and this is its original logo designed by Mr. Weil himself.
And I'm gonna, you know what I think I'm gonna do? Okay.
I do
Okay.
You're so good at this.
She does it fast too.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
The samples hanging in the showroom are in the same building that Rock Mount Ranchwear has used since its beginning back in 1946, and this logo is the original one designed by Mr. Weil himself.
That was really good, but just keep the light up there the way
Go,
you
go
had
back
it.
to her. Okay.
But otherwise, that was really good. And okay, whenever you're ready.
The samples in this showroom were hanging in the very same building that Rockmount Ranchware, blah, blah, blah. Could you just have a harder name? Rockmount Ranchware has been using since its beginning. Here you go. The samples in this showroom are hanging in the same building that Rockmount Ranchware has been using since 1946 when it began. And this shirt has the logo that was
That was
designed.
my
Yeah, I did a little too slow. I
And also
need to
just
go a
make
little
sure the
slower,
light's
I think.
focused on her.
I
Yeah.
think I'll go a little
That way I
slow.
get some of you, and then I can do a slow push in.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. The samples hanging in this showroom are in the same building that Rockmount Ranchware has been using since it began in 1946, and this shirt has the very original logo that Mr. Wild designed himself.
That was great.
The wordage was weird. Here we go again. Now the samples hanging in this showroom have been, not that the samples haven't been, let's try that again. They're the same, my God, they're old. What quality fabric do they use? It's amazing, isn't it?
55 years of dust.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Now the samples hanging in this showroom are in the same
Sorry, well, that was
building.
me.
Okay.
Okay.
The samples hanging in this building, oops. The samples hanging in this building, the samples hanging in this showroom are in the same building that Rockmount Ranchware has been using since its beginning in 1946, and this shirt shows the original logo designed by Mr. Weil himself.
Great, let's do just once.
Okay,
be
good.
safe. And okay.
Now the samples hanging in this showroom are in the same building that Rockmount Ranchware has been using since its beginning in 1946, and this shirt is the original logo designed by Mr. Weil himself.